Empowerment through Knowledge and Sarina Stone present the Tequila Drinker's Guide to Health and Wellness radio show with your host, medical Qigong author, practitioner, and educator, Sarina Stone, featuring the director of the Universal Healing Tao Medical Qigong System, Master Mantak Chia. This is episode 26, Healthy Habits and Medical QiGong.
Okay, so we're back again. Thanks for listening, folks. Most of you know by now that Master Chia is out on tour somewhere in Europe or America, I don't even know. We're going to see him again at some point in December. And for the next couple of months, we've got one of his favorite educators and the founder of White Tiger QiGong School, a master in his own right. Tevia Feng is with us, and we're doing something a little different. We're just hanging out at Dow Garden. We're here in the dining hall. You can hear all the birds and the clanging dishes in the background. And Tevia and I are just talking about medical Qigong, about fitness and health. And our job is to demystify some of those ancient Chinese secrets. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we ended our show, we were talking about how people get into these weird ruts and, you know, we have no energy at the end of the day, especially if you've got, you know, a regular 40-hour-a-week or more job, if you have a family, and we don't really want to discipline ourselves. We get into some pretty heavy habits, and then we just want to numb out. So Tevia talked a lot about needing to discipline himself as he was learning and mastering martial arts and his body and medical Qigong. And he threw that word discipline out enough that I thought, oh, we're going to lose half of him right there. But here's the thing, guys. I'm not educated. I've been saying that in my classrooms for over 20 years. I am not I am not a disciplined, not educated. I'm educated. Because you can educate yourself while you're sitting down. Okay, that I can do. But I'm not as disciplined. I've never been disciplined. I do my Qigong because every year I want to do less and less bad stuff. My body acknowledges, now you eat that second pizza. You're going to have a really hard time, and I actually just don't want to order the second pizza, okay? So we've got Tevia here. Hello.
Hey.
And, you know, he's seen this stuff. He's seen the undisciplined. He's seen the disciplined. And again, he's a regular guy. And I want to hear your point of view a little bit about how did our culture become the people that don't want to go home and do anything. We don't have a steady stream of energy. We want to check out, and discipline is just for going to work. How did that happen? And then let's talk about, you know, reasonable things we can do to shift that.
Well, the whole problem starts when we're living in a society where we're living off adrenaline. Okay. What does that mean is I have a lot of people come to me with adrenal fatigue or so-called chronic fatigue. And this, what I have seen, originates from creating these habits of being very intense in their job, or when you sit in front of a computer, it's proven that it increases your heart rate. Do you know that? So that when you're spending your whole day in front of a computer, your heart rate has been increased and unnaturally to a high degree, that it's going to fatigue your body, because when your heart has to pump more and more and more so much, this is going to naturally fatigue you, because it wasn't how we were intended to be. So now then we take that. Then you add a cup of coffee to that. That's going to further increase the heart pumping.
And you guys know out there, it's either you or people you know, they're not having a cup of coffee. They're having a pot of coffee.
So what happens then? Then they're going to have to come down, and then they're going to have more coffee to bring it back up, because when you drink the coffee and you're living off adrenaline, you're fatiguing the kidneys. Okay, you're sapping your energy from your kidneys, and that people are experiencing lower back pain a lot.
Yeah,
and that's absolutely related with the kidneys. So then it becomes a vicious cycle, because then the next day, just to get out of bed, I have friends, they have to throw a pot of coffee on the stove. And before they know it, just to function, they have to have coffee. And what's happening is they're little by little, slowly but surely, decreasing their lifespan. And this is what Chinese medicine has warned many people against. And then they're experiencing all types of chronic fatigue and different issues at young ages that people who are in their 80s and 90s should be having these, not people who are in their 20s, 30s, and 40s are having these issues.
I think that could be, I have to say, I think that's very, very relevant. Listeners, so a little personal thing, since I've been here in Del Garden the past few months, I've actually put a lot of extra work into kidneys and liver, okay? And I didn't even think about it till Tevia was just now speaking. I brought like easily a pound of green tea and the equal amount of coffee, organic, of course, everything's organic, but instant coffee so that I could have this in the morning. I didn't even think about it till you just said that. Since I've started working on my kidneys and liver since these past couple months, I do not have coffee or green tea. And by the way, guys, green tea has a lot of caffeine, okay?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
A lot. I mean, I've hurt myself with that more than once. I'm not doing it every day.
Well, you know how I wake up? How I get myself is QiGong. And actually wakes me up and I feel completely awake, and I've done it naturally and something that's really good for me. And that's how I wake up. I don't wake up with a stimulant because I know the vulgar reality of the consequences of what this is going to do.
Okay, mister, but you're a very disciplined guy. Okay, so you're a very disciplined guy.
But you know how I learned this?
No.
I was a tournament fighter. And what was happening is I was addicted to the adrenaline rush. I was an adrenaline junkie. If you gave me something that would give me a boost, like I was into it. Like fighting a tournament is way more boosting than a cup of coffee.
I'm sure. Okay.
I was totally into it. But what happened is I started developing injuries, and I went to my Chinese medicine doctor. He says, you know, if you keep doing this, you're going to live a short life. And I said, why is that? He said, you're burning out your adrenal glands. He says, you're going into fight or flight on a weekly basis when you're supposed to be only using this 3 or 4 times in your life. So you're using your life force reserves, that's energy that's in your body, and you're using it on a weekly basis. And right then I quit. Now, I probably shortened my life by doing that for a number of years, but I changed my lifestyle completely. I quit fighting tournaments at that time, and I devoted myself to medical QiGong. I decided I want to do stuff that's going to help myself rather than harm myself.
All right. Okay, so let's go back and let's talk to our listeners that are getting up in the morning, drinking some strong coffee, or you're late, which is another way to get adrenaline, and rushing out the door.
And then driving 90 miles an hour down the highway.
Right. Exactly.
And then getting pissed off in the traffic jam.
Yeah, there you go. All right, and then we have this, some of us have, and I'm actually not in that group, have a job that we don't like, we're not connected to, it doesn't mean anything to us. And then this weird thing, and of course we all know the stories, you go to lunch and we're going to talk about food, and I'll be more active on that conversation in another show. But, you know, that we eat the food, it slows us down, you go back to work, you have more coffee, this terrible cycle. But here's the weird thing. Maybe it is one of those patterns you've talked about. The second that we get home, a lot of people got nothing. They can barely be with their families. It's an effort. And what they really want to do after the kids go to bed or they get 30 seconds to themselves is check out. But the last thing they want to do is focus on themselves. We don't want to think anymore. So we watch movies, we play video games, we have a glass of wine, we hit the marijuana pipe. There's a lot of things we can do to check out. Sex is another one, by the way. Maybe we should talk about that on one of these shows. Tevia, if you were going to talk for a few minutes on something we can do to start to shift that pattern so that we don't wake up one day as sick as our parents were, and now we're really sick. We have just numbed ourselves out of having a healthy, happy life. Where do you start?
Well, first you have to recognize how dangerous this lifestyle is for your body and your health. And what hits people to reality really hard is how much healthcare costs they're going to have to spend if they continue this lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then living in a hospital bed really sucks, or being confined to your bedroom because you're ill or you have injuries is not going to be fun.
No.
So you have to wake up to this.
People think that pain is normal, right? Everybody aches. Everybody hurts. Everybody's swollen. Is it normal?
No, absolutely not. You should be feeling fresh and great. In the mornings, when I go to breakfast, I'm feeling like rock and roll, baby. Like I'm ready to I got the juice flowing. And I get so high off of doing Qigong that I don't think you could give me a drug that compares, because when you do drugs, you're going to come down and you're going to crash. When you drink a lot of coffee, you're going to go up and you're going to come down and crash. When I do Qigong, I go up after I do the Qigong. I'm up when I'm doing the Qigong, and then after, my mood and my whole general feeling is increasing. So I'm high on Qigong. That's my high.
So for those of you who had a youth where your body was really efficient, you were eating spaghetti and pizza and you still felt great, you could get 5 hours of sleep, you felt great. That's what we're talking about, is the reason that your body changed. Of course, aging matters. Of course it does. But the other thing that matters is years and years of abuse.
Yeah.
Is what Tevia is saying is dangerous. It's not funny anymore. You drink too much, you eat too much. It's not funny anymore. So from what I heard you say is the first step in changing some of these patterns is being consciously aware that, like I said, this isn't funny. This is dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think waking up with a stimulant is a slippery slope. So first off, you need to start to change the way you wake up and what you're doing to wake up. And I could not more highly recommend than doing some type of Qigong before you start your day. And why is that? Because you've built up these toxins overnight and you have emotions that stayed inside the body, and you want to squeeze them out and wake up the body through opening the body, and you'll feel so good. You get the blood flowing. The blood will flow to your brain. You'll think more clearly. You can make better decisions. That's why I have investment bankers and hedge fund managers come to train with me. When you do Qigong, you'll be able to make much better snap decisions, and you'll be able to operate under pressure in a calm manner.
Well, that's the only way you're going to get up the corporate ladder, that's for sure, is you have to be that guy or that woman.
Yep.
You have to think quickly, move quickly, and with confidence.
Exactly. And this Qigong teaches you how to really be able to live under pressure in a relaxed way. And that's the key. And that's one of the keys to longevity. And that's what the Qigong really teaches you. How can you really relax in your life? Because we're living on the edge constantly, under the gun, under stress. Stresses of work, stresses of family, stresses of politics, stresses of everything. I mean, as soon as you step outside your house, you're under stress. And what's that doing? It's putting your organs under stress. So when you get home, you want to shut off, you want to tune out, you want to turn off, and you want to close yourself to the world, because your body, you've just worn yourself out and you got nothing left in you by the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So how can you relax while you work? So you need to, the only thing for me that really makes sense right off the bat that anyone can do is Qigong in the morning. I use Qigong as my form of fitness. So you have to find the right type of Qigong.
I was just going to say, all right, because now we're getting into this gray area that even I don't know exactly what you mean. We've talked in the past about all these different kinds of Qigong. Are you saying they need to get up and move? They need to lay in their bed and meditate? I mean, what is this? Is it up to the individual what their needs are? I mean, Qigong, what is that? What do you mean?
Well, I think they need some sort of dynamic movement that's going to be stretching and strengthening their bodies. So how do I use my Qigong as a form of fitness? Well, for me, it's a holistic form of fitness. What does that mean? That means I'm exercising my muscles, I'm exercising my organs, I'm exercising my lung capacity, I'm increasing my heart rate and my blood flow through deep dynamic movements that stretch and strengthen the body, okay? Coupled with concentration, coupled with breath. So after you do that, then you can go into a relaxed state. Now you've exercised the body and the mind, and I'm not talking about mindless treadmills. People are on treadmills, they hate their exercise, and they're miserable, so they have to watch a TV show while they're on a treadmill. They have to do something to tune out to their physical body. This Qigong is about tuning in and really feeling what's wrong, and you become your own doctor, and you start becoming less dependent on medical personnel to correct you, and you can start to really see what's happening in your body. And really, to me, I mean, I'm so fascinated with how the depth of our bodies and the mind. It's a beautiful way to get in touch with yourself, and you'll find you can truly relax at the end of the day. And then when you get home, because you're not under this stress, this constant stress, because you know how to relax under stress, your organs are not under stress, and then you'll feel vitality and energy when you get home. That's what it's going to be like.
Okay, so it sounds to me like the discipline here is, and there's just no way around it. You got to get up. And what do you think? 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
If you can do a minimum of 20 minutes, and people say, I have no time. I hear people say this all the time. I have no time. You know what? Go to bed earlier and wake up earlier and just do it. Just do it. That's true.
I think I attained the level of health that I had. It took a lot longer than it could have if I was a more disciplined person. Qigong is still cumulative. I mean, no matter how you look at it, even if they only did the Qigong twice a week, even if they started out at twice a week, you know how it goes. You've seen this, Tevia, over and over again. And then they like it, and then they do it 3 times a week. And then 3 times a week turns into 5 times a week. It may take you a year or 5 to build into being that kind of person. But now, a lot of us that do Qigong, you can't take my Qigong away. It has to happen, and I don't talk to anybody about it. I just do it because it's in me. It's a part of me. Slowly but surely, I became aware that other stuff, I agree with you, by the way, is just dangerous. Mm-hmm. And sorry, if I drink coffee every day, it is not okay. I don't like how I feel. I don't like how I look, and I don't like how much I sleep, or I should say how little I sleep. It is not cool.
And don't get me wrong, I love a good cup of coffee.
I love a good cup of coffee too.
I don't use it as my crutch.
Yeah, exactly. So I love it too, but it should be mindful.
Yeah. So I don't tell people, okay, you can't drink coffee, you can't drink alcohol, you can't smoke pot. You can do all that, but do it in moderation. Right. And don't use it as a crutch, as long as it's something you do in your free time to enjoy the pleasure of it, as opposed to using it as a source of energy. And that's the key.
So maybe, listeners, the key here is, first of all, you have to study with somebody. You can't, this isn't something you can see in a movie or something. You find the thing that works for you. Now, Tevia has a big following. I mean, learning this kind of dynamic Qigong is a thing. But you got to find something. Even if you start with yoga in the morning, something to break the cycle, something to break that pattern. Like I said, even if it's 2 days a week, and the look on Tevia's face like, no, he wants more. Well, I'm talking to the rest of you. Even if you just start out with a commitment, there is a level of discipline here. At least a few days a week, you are not going to start your day like you normally do. But I promise you, if you stick with it, there comes a point where it becomes this thing you crave. Now, we've heard Tevia speak. Okay, we've all heard you talk. You crave it. You love it. It's better than drugs.
It's better than, yeah. Sometimes it's better than sex.
Okay. Sometimes.
It's what it is it's like an itch in my body. If I don't do it, I feel I got to move that. It's like an itch.
And yes, I have the same thing. There comes a point where I've stepped away from a healthier lifestyle. And again, for me, it's very personal. I have my little thing, my little routine, my meditations. I don't move as much as Tevia. Everybody knows that. And I really need to. But there's things that I do for my health and mental as well. I mean, if I'm the yin part of this show, I have pretty strong feelings about my mental health and its effect on my body. I'm with Tevia, though. If anybody ever tried to take it away from me, it just wouldn't happen. It's a part of my life now. And I want to reiterate, guys, there may be things that you're doing that not only are you kind of aware it's not really good for you, but they're actually really bad for you. Tevia has a website, find the email address on there. Start checking in on some of these habits you have and just get his take on it. See if, you can, somebody or another instructor at the school might be able to get back to you and let you know actually what you're doing over the course of time could be dangerous. Once you have the conscious awareness that what this thing I'm doing over the course of time is going to make me very sick. Mm-hmm. It changes how we feel about doing it. Anything else you want to add about getting out of that rut?
Well, I mean, really, the White Tiger QiGong is this mind-body connection. And when you turn off and tune out and go into your exercise, it's quite the antithesis of White Tiger QiGong. And the mind-body connection is so crucial for your mental well-being, not just your physical well-being, but I go through the same emotions that every single person goes through. My sister hurts my feelings. My girlfriend pisses me off. I get into a fight with somebody. The guy cut me off when I was driving. I go through the same shit that everybody else goes through. I go through the same exact thing, but the difference is I have different strategies of how to deal with it. How to deal with my emotions. And that's it. It's really simple. It's not complicated. I have a strategy, and that's squeezing this stuff right out of my body through dynamic movements with a connection of the mind and a connection of the breath.
And folks, if you've ever had a time in your life where you were in pain, physical pain, okay? All of you who've had that experience, or a loved one, like before you get knee surgery, they're just in pain all the time. Hip surgery, they're in pain all the time. You know very well that this changes our emotional state. You are not the same when you're in pain. The mind-body connection is absolutely real. It sounds airy-fairy, mind-body connection, but it's not. It is absolutely crucial to those of us who want to be a success in our careers, a success with our families, a success in the bedroom, a success pretty much anywhere. It's true. He's got a big smile on his face right now. But it's true. You take who you are in every situation, whether it's your job, your family, okay? So if, it stands to reason, if you're not well, physically or emotionally, then you're not living into your potential for success in any arena.
Exactly.
So Tevia's idea is that it's, using dynamic or physical movements so we can get out of our rut, stop behaving the way that we do, which a lot of us hide, right? We hide at the end of the day. Just please, take these thoughts out of my head. We call it in America, men go home and they go into the man cave.
Yeah.
Right? And they don't want to talk to the kids and they don't want to talk to their wife. They really want to be left alone. There's a reason for that, is what Tevia and I are saying today. And it doesn't make the people that you love feel good. It's not getting you anywhere. Looking on Facebook hour after hour, those same posts are still going to be there tomorrow. Yeah. Okay? It's not getting us anywhere good. And as a culture, we have an ability to facilitate change in really amazing ways. It could be in your community. It could just be in your household. Showing your kids a healthy way to live and a happy, open, loving way to live.
There you go.
But you have to be it. You can't talk about it, because we all know that. We didn't do what our parents said to do. We became like our parents in a lot of ways, and then we had to fix it.
Yep.
Okay. So this stuff runs really deep. And I'm not sure what we're going to talk about on the next show, but thank you guys for listening, and thanks, Tevia, for being here. Tevia, did you want to add anything? I know I'm kind of wrapping up the show without...
Well, I have a bunch of resources people can grab for free. I have a ton of blogs. People can read up on this, what they can do. I got some free books they can download, The Secrets of the Centenarians. I studied people who lived to be over 100 and what were their secret strategies.
And did you talk about food in it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, what else? We got the books, we got the blog.
Yep, I have online course. Or best thing to do, come study with me in person, or find one of the instructors. You can find them on our website. Maybe you can find one near where you live.
Oh, that's nice, convenient.
Yeah, or just come train with me here in Tao Garden.
Yeah, well, that's fun and fabulous. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right, then. You guys know where to find Tevia. We've been talking about him a lot. White Tiger QiGong
QiGong.
Right. .com, and there's free stuff. We all like free stuff. Start learning, and then come on back in a couple of weeks, and we'll talk about something else that demystifies ancient Chinese secrets.
Yeah, now it's getting late. I gotta go do my Qigong, actually, speaking of which, now.
Now, yay! Bye, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on another Empowerment Through Knowledge adventure. Want to learn more? Find Master Chia at mantakchia.com. That's mantakchia.com. Find more medical Qigong lessons, books, and information about studying directly with Sarina at sarinastone.com. SARINASTONE.com. Thanks for listening. If you like what you learned, subscribe today.